You've met Sister Gavina, Slagatha Christie, Mrs. Marilyn Close, and now may I present to you my reindeer alter ego, Gasha. Gasha Fierce. Gash for short, although I freaking hate that. I hate that word. Welcome back to Gavin Reads It All, and welcome to episode 3 of Snake Across My Bookshelves. This is the festive edition, and essentially what that means is I'm going to be trying to read as many Christmassy and festive-y books as I possibly can in this video. If this is your first video, do check out the previous two. I will have the playlist linked down below. But Snake Across My Bookshelves was inspired by the mobile game Snake and Jetlag the Game, where I randomly select a shelf to start on. I have to read a book on that shelf, and then I'll randomly select another shelf to go to, and I'll read a book off that shelf. But as I'm going through all the different shelves, I am forming a snake across my bookshelves, and I am not allowed to crash into myself or the vlog ends. And we're going to try and make it the biggest snake possible. And I don't know if we will beat my Halloween special of Snake Across My Bookshelves, because we did end up reading 9 books in that one. We had a 9-book-long snake, and by George, that vlog lasted a hot minute. I do not want to repeat, to be honest. Like, I do still want to make as long a snake as possible, but 9 is ridiculous. It took so long to film that video, to the point where I had to change my schedule and everything. Oh my god. I mean, if I do have to end up rejigging things in my schedule to make this vlog work, then that's just gonna have to happen. But yeah, this vlog will not end until I crash the snake. Let me show you the shelves of play, because a lot of things have changed since the previous episode. So in the last episode, my classics were contained in that shelf, but I've moved the classics now. So all of these books here are my general A to Z. And I have 5 bookcases now at play when I used to only have 4. And I've mixed in my middle grades with all of these shelves too. So we have that going for us. And also I have decked the halls in this room, and it's looking very festive. But yeah, I don't do any of the books at the very top. I essentially just do the actual bookshelves themselves. And in my library room, my books go in this direction. So they do follow this pattern. And because I've extended the bookshelves and I have merged in all of my middle grade, we have 28 shelves at play. There are only 2 blank shelves at the bottom there. We have 28 shelves. So I actually would not be surprised if this vlog does actually end up lasting forever. This vlog's going to end in 2026. This is just a homemade gingerbread oat milk latte. I did not get this from a coffee shop. The only coffee shop that I go to these days is the North Hall, which is my coffee shop. Oh my gosh. So yes, the festive edition of Snake Across My Bookshelves means if I land on a shelf, I have to try and read the Christmas book that is on that shelf, but I definitely do not have Christmas books on every shelf. So if there's nothing festive on that shelf, then I will try and go for something wintry, something set during the winter or gives winter vibes. But if there are no winter reads on that shelf, then I did get an idea from one of my channel members, Jackie. She said, oh, why don't you try and pick a book with Christmas colours? Now, obviously, that could be a whole array of colours, so I'm going to limit it to 5 colours. And I did ask in my end of year TBR video what you would consider Christmas colours, because I feel like you could associate anything with a Christmas colour. Like, I could do brown. Like, I could say brown is a Christmas colour because reindeer. I could say purple is a Christmas colour because gift wrap. You know, I could do anything. So I'm not going to take the PISS. I am going to only pick 5 colours and stick with them. So the 5 Christmas colours that I would personally pick, and a lot of people actually said the same 5 colours, are green, white, red, blue, and gold. Those are the 5 colours that I'm going to limit it down to. Otherwise, I could just pick anything at the end of the day. So I might not end up reading any Christmas or festive books in this video. Festive Snake Across My Bookshelves might be a lie. And just like in the Halloween episode, I did introduce power-ups. So I do actually have some power-ups again for the festive edition of Snake Across My Bookshelves. And honestly, I feel like I'm a genius. Some of the power-ups still have the same kind of properties as some of the Halloween power-ups, but I have festified the power-ups and changed a little bit. So for the power-ups, we have the reindeer, the snowflake, the sleigh, and the naughty list. So just like in the last episode, I will have 3 good power-ups and 1 bad power-up. So the reindeer will give me the ability to dash to any shelf. So if I find myself a little bit stuck, I can use that power-up and I can pick any random shelf in the library. That kind of works like the time travel. Was it like a time warp wormhole kind of power-up that I had in the previous episode. So you will see that these are a little bit similar. The snowflake will freeze my progress and I will remain on that shelf. So if I, spin or roll and get the number generator and I'm about to crash into myself, it kind of works like the hourglass power-up in the previous episode, but the snowflake will freeze me. So I will stay on that shelf and I will read another book on that shelf in order to be able to move on. So the next time that I, use the number generator or the spin the wheel, I hopefully have a better chance of getting off the shelf. The stay will give me the ability to fly over part of the snake body. Again, just like one of the previous power-ups, but in my defense, it's very hard to have power-ups that help me with moving and navigating the bookshelves. So I do apologize for that. But then the naughty list is the bad power-up. So the naughty list means I have to pick a book off that shelf that I am likely to unhaul. So I do think that the majority of the books in this library room are books that I would want to keep and read, and I don't really want to unhaul any more books. I have to pick a book off that shelf that maybe out of all of them, I'm probably like the most likely to unhaul it. So that could be like an author I've read before who gave me like mixed signals. Maybe it's a book that I soft DNF'd in the past and I thought I would give it another go, things like that. So that would be the bad power-up. But now that I have introduced you to the game, which I always feel like I take way too long to do, let's go actually play this. Let's go actually play this thing. So one element that is brand new to this version of the game as well is that I have got my channel members to vote for a power-up that I will automatically get at the start of the game. So almost like a little bit of a perk, because I have so many shelves, it is a little bit less likely for me to get the power-ups. However, I will say it was a fluke that I got all of the power-ups in the previous episode. Like, what were the chances? What were the chances? So now I have more shelves and less chance of getting a power-up. So I've asked my channel members to vote on all 4 of the power-ups, which one they would want me to get. And now I'm looking at the results. Okay. So it looks like my channel members have voted for me to get the reindeer power-up. So I will be able to add that to my inventory straight away. And that means I can now dash to any shelf that I want. And I don't have to use it straight away. I can keep that in my inventory until I feel like I need to use it. So thank you so much for voting for that one. The 23% of you who voted for the bad power-up, you're trouble. Now we have to pick which shelves the other power-ups will go onto. So let's quickly do that now. And I am going to do a spin the wheel in this episode to pick the numbers. I've been having terrible times with the Google random number generator in the previous episodes. So let's try the spin the wheel. Let's see if that does anything. Let's see if that helps. So let's spin it. Let's find out what we are going to put the snowflake power up on. Amazing. Shelf number 23. Okay, this is the representation, the very professional looking representation of my shelves. So let's do shelf number 23. We have that snowflake. So here is one that I made earlier. Shelf number 23. Okay, perfect. That is the first power up. Now for the sleigh power up. Let's find out what shelf that's going to go on. Again, another one that I drew earlier, and I will say I did draw these, but I traced them. So that's why they look so good. Let's put the sleigh over here. Perfect. I'm already enjoying using the spin the wheel way more than the random number generator already. Okay, now finally for the naughty list, let's find out what shelf that is going on. The shelf we need to avoid. 26. We've got one that's quite close to the other one. Absolutely none for Gretchen Wieners. So there we go, that's what my shelves now look like with the power-ups on shelves 5, 23 and 26. Right, now I need to add 5, 23 and 26 back onto the spin the wheel, and then we are going to spin it to find out what shelf we're going to be starting on, finally. Okay, let's shuffle 7 times. Do you remember back in the day when I shuffled 7 times for the Halloween video? Oh, okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, shelves are shuffled. Let's find out what shelf we are starting on. Oh! Shelf number 3, okay. I am pretty sure every single Stay Across My Bookshelves has given me this exact shelf. If it's the shelf I'm thinking of, we are starting on the exact same shelf we started on in episode 1 and in episode 2. If it has Recursion on by Blake Crouch, it is Recursion, isn't it? Yeah. I'm pretty sure, I can't say 100% for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's shelf number 3. And that is the exact shelf we start every single time. Hang on. It might not be. Let's hold our horses. But if it is that shelf, witchcraft. Okay, so shelf number 3. We are starting here. That is supposed to be a gold color. It kind of looks a little bit like a lime green. Let's change that. That looks terrible. Does this look better? Yeah, no. Just do blue. There we go. That stands out. But I swear if it's the shelf that I'm thinking of. Shelf number 3. Okay, this one. Right, I don't think it is then. I don't think it is. It was always this shelf. Where the hell is Crouch? Crouch is on this one. Shelf number 2. We were so close. Although saying that though, I'm pretty sure because of the hauling and the unhauling, a lot of these books were on that shelf that I got the first episode and the second episode. I'm pretty sure. But it was like this. It's like this shelf here. Oh my god. Okay, so I already can say no festive or like Christmassy, maybe even wintry books either. I've read Feybound. I've read The Battle Drum in the Final Strife. I could potentially read Cursebound since it is one of the Christmas colours that I said. I do need to read the second Emily Wilde's book as well, and that has blue. I mean, the Christie Affair has red. That looks very festive to me. I mean, not really, but kind of festive. You know what, honestly, that one does look like a good contender. And then there is the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells. This is in my 25 books to read in 2025 video. I know for sure. I haven't looked in a while, but I still haven't read this one. I still haven't read it. And if I'm going to pick between the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells and the Christie Affair, I think I would prefer to read the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells by Rachel Greenlaw. It looks like it could be wintry, and it is just stunning in general. Oh, it mentions snow on the back. There is an old tale that weaves through the mountain town of Woodsmoke. It whispers of a stranger who appears as the snow falls, only to disappear in spring, leaving behind a broken heart. So this must be set during the winter then. Yeah, we follow Carrie Morgan, and she has returned to Woodsmoke after 10 years, but a beautiful stranger walks into her life with the first frost. It says, bound to her family's book of spells and a deep magic that flows from the mountains, Carrie's family warn that her new love is a curse who will disappear when the frost thaws. Now Carrie needs to embrace the powers of a Morgan woman. Does that not sound a little bit like practical magic to you? And I think that is one of the reasons why I put this in my 25 books to read in 2025, and I obviously haven't gotten to it. It is now December, so yeah, this is the one I'm going to start off with. It has snow, it has frost, it has love, it has magic. That's what Christmas is all about. So let's get into my festive edition of Staying Across My Bookshelves. If you end up liking this video, please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hype the video up as well if you end up enjoying it too. Join my channel memberships if you like more content. And let's start the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Well, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Guys, I had my very first acupuncture in 5 minutes, and I've never had acupuncture before. I'm actually dreading it. I'm so scared. But my back is apparently like a rock. I've had a sports massage 2 times now, and I felt nothing. And I feel like the nerves in my back are a little bit fried. So he's going to try acupuncture on me today to see if I feel anything. Fingers crossed. Okay, I'm now home, and let me explain my back situation just a little bit better. So I did start seeing the sports therapist about a month ago, and he was doing a sports massage, and I just didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything at all, really. And then when I went to see him again 2 weeks later, I told him that I can't really feel anything in my back. So he was saying, yeah, I have a very solid back. Like, the tension, there's a lot there. And I knew my back was very tense. I feel like I'm constantly, like, tense anyway. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And he was saying as well, when he does the massage, usually people go very red, and I barely went red. And so he's like, okay, next time, let's try some acupuncture, see if that helps with like some of the blood flow, like bring some blood out and stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I have just done the acupuncture, and like, again, I didn't really feel anything again. One of the needles did hurt. You only put 8 in. I only felt one of them when he put them in. And like, he was like kind of touching them every now and then, and I could feel that sensation. And when he took them out and he started like massaging again, he was like, oh, you kind of went from being a brick to being almost like Play-Doh kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's good progress. That's good progress. I still didn't really feel too much after the acupuncture thing. And like, even right now, like, I feel very like relaxed. Absolutely. I feel like it has helped with me feeling relaxed. And Ash is currently at the window. Oh, I love you. And now he's knocked over the Christmas decoration. Well done. Yeah, I didn't really feel too much again, like afterwards, in terms of like pleasure or pain. Like, I don't feel barely anything in my back. So then after that, he was saying, oh, your scapula is quite wide. And so the next time I go, he's going to see if he can like get under the scapula and stuff like that. So like, there are things that we're going to try and do so I can get some feeling into my back. I currently have the radiator on as well right now. And oh, that feels good. But yeah, I feel like I just need to loosen up. I need to loosen up. I'm a tight bitch. What can I say? So that's kind of what's been happening recently. I'm hoping by getting more sensation in my back, I feel a little bit more like just in general. I feel like a stone. I really do. Like, I want to feel good in my body. You know what I mean? And I feel like having the sports massages and the acupuncture is hopefully going to help me to like feel something. Anyway, I have not made any more progress with the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells. I was a little bit tired last night. I did film quite late last night when I filmed the Snake Across My Bookshelves introduction. I filmed it quite late, so I haven't started this, but I do also need to start and finish The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalino for tomorrow. So I have my membership book club tomorrow. So I think I'm going to try and read half of this today and half of it tomorrow, and also slot in some Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells. Because yeah, I need to get this done for my book club. I can't come to my book club and not have it done. But I always love to wait until like the day before or the day of the book club for me to actually read the books. It's all fresh in the noggin then, isn't it? It's all fresh in the noggin. And I do anticipate enjoying this, so I will annotate. Oh, that's beautiful. I didn't even realize, but like, there's section headings, section pages. Oh my god, there's even like some illustrations. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. So I won't be talking about this book in this video. This was on shelf number 1. So if I had gotten shelf number 1, maybe this could have been my first read. And that would have knocked something out. I mean, it's green. Did I say green was one of my Christmas colors? I might have done. Yes, green, red, white, blue, and gold. Those were my 5 colors. In green really would have worked. Watch me finish this, use the spin the wheel for the next shelf, and watch it be shelf number 1.
May your days be merry.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah, you.
And bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Christmases be white, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Absolutely nobody would leave me alone. As soon as I sat down to read, my mum rang, and then I opened my book to read the first page. Ash started to pester me and then stole my seat. I swear, nobody wants me to read today, but I am now on page 78 of the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells, and like, it's been fine so far. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it. It's been like pleasant. It's been very pleasant. I love the building up of the town of Woodsmoke, the way it gets described. I do think Rachel has a very descriptive way of writing the story, but I don't know if I'm in love with the narrative style. So we do have 3 POV characters. We have Carrie, who is the person who has come to Woodsmoke after so long. She, I would say, is our main character, and her chapters are told in first person. And then we have Cora, who is her great aunt. Her chapters are in third person. And then we have Jess. Now, Jess is in a relationship with Tom, and Tom is Carrie's ex. So with Carrie's arrival at Woodsmoke, there are a bit of rumblings there, and Jess's story is told in third person as well. So I guess that really does help, actually, to make sure that you differentiate between the characters. I imagine if all of them were first person, it would be a little bit hard to keep track of. But no, I feel like having the different styles, I'm getting a little bit used to it now that I am a good few chapters in. Yeah, I'm on chapter 14, and the chapters are so short. So lovely and short. And yeah, there is like a very descriptive way of describing things. I love the idea of the mountains that surround this place, and how like the Woodsmoke women would feel like very connected to it. And there is like this book as well that gets passed down to the Woodsmoke women. And yeah, I'm getting like a little bit of, well, not exactly charmed. I don't think this is like magical in the sense of like charmed, like Book of Shadows, magic spells, potions and stuff like that. This is more of like a natural kind of magic. I feel like pretty similar to practical magic in that sense, where we do have like this idea of magic and how it is imbued in these women. And I really do like that angle as well. So there have been like a little bit of strange things happen. So Carrie is now staying at the cottage where Ivy used to live. So Ivy was her grandmother, but she passed away, and that's what's brought Carrie to Woodsmoke. So now she has this cottage, and yeah, I just love the way it's described. I love the way that's set up. And there is like this like weird man kind of like leaving wildflowers at the front door, and I like seeing that unfold as well. So like the plot is coming in very, very slowly. I do think Rachel wanted to build up this setting first, and also add in a little bit of intrigue of like what happened with these characters beforehand, before we actually fully get into the plot. And I am definitely 100% a plot person. I love it when my books are filled to the brim with plot. So I do need things to pick up a little bit. It is going a little bit slow right now. It is moving at a glacial pace, shall we say. You know, I like the fact that Cora gave Carrie a little bit of a hard time, because Carrie has been avoiding Woodsmoke for like 10 years, and even Carrie's own mother has like avoided the place. So that again is interesting, but I do like the fact that Cora is like, you can't deny your destiny, you can't deny your birthright, and you know, being a Woodsmoke woman and what that means and what that entails. So I like that she gives Carrie, our main character, a little bit more of a challenge, and we do still see things from Cora's point of view as well, just in third person. So it's not as personal, but it's still very much present. So good news, I do think I'm having a good time with this. I do. And it's just over 300 pages. Like, it isn't actually that long of a book. So what I'm going to do is I need to do my CCs for my Goodreads video, which is going live in about 4 hours. So I need to finish those off. I started them last night. They do take a bit of time to do, so I'm going to try and do that over the next few hours. And then I hope to finish this. We will spin again for another shelf. And then I really do need to start the second Death of Locke. Like, I can't put this off any longer. It needs to be read by 8 p.m. tomorrow. And if you want to see how CCs are done on YouTube, a lot of the times it is auto-generated by YouTube, and there are usually a lot of errors. I've done the first 15 minutes, but I usually do just go through this and make all my adjustments. Yeah, I do just like have to read all of this. So obviously it's a long video, so there's so many, you know, sentences and things that I've said to go through. So it will take me a good while. In fact, if we go on edit as text, how many words in my video essay on the Goodreads Choice Awards? Okay, 22,689 words. That's like a novella, isn't it? It's essentially like reading a novella when I have to do all the editing and changing the CCs. But, you know, it's very important to do. So that is what I'm going to be doing for potentially the next couple of hours. See, that said romantic, but it's romanticy. I know I say romanticy there. I'm trying as well off the top of my head to remember what I said, and if I can't remember what I said, I just... Not everything in the top 10 made the top 10. See, so like that. I can just like replay that section. So it is really easy to do. I will say that. I don't know why more creators don't do this, but it is very time consuming. I will say that. It is very time consuming, but totally worth it for those who need subtitles. So let's just like, I mean, I only did like one thing. Let's save draft. If we look at the analytics and we see how many people use subtitles. So I mean, 80% of my audience do not use the CCs, but about 20% do. And that is a massive percentage, you know what I mean? So even if it was just 1%, that would still be very needed. So that is my little CCs speech. I should hopefully have the CCs done for this video that you are watching right now.
I think the light in the fire, fixing the tree, put the star on top and the presents underneath. But for me, it's kind of bittersweet. I love holidays, making memories to keep, but I wish you could have stayed. It's not the same without you. 'Cause it's true what she said, all I want is you. Oh, it's the look in his eyes, like my gift in disguise. 'Cause Santa looks a lot like you. And I swear I won't tell, it's my secret as well. But Santa looks a lot like you. If it's true, only wish that I made was to spend this Christmas night with you. I don't need any gift if it is so I wish. 'Cause Santa looks a lot like you. It's been so cold in my bay, felt so alone. I've been dreaming about us kissing when it snows. If you could come home, I wanna dance to all the good songs and be cheesy with you. I wanna lay beside the fire, hold on tight to you. Yeah, that's what I wanna do. Because it's true what Mariah said, all I want is you. It's the look in his eyes, like my gift in disguise. 'Cause Santa looks a lot like you. And I swear I won't tell, it's my secret as well. But Santa looks a lot like you. If it's true, only wish that I made was to spend this Christmas night with you. I don't need any gift if it is so I wish. 'Cause Santa looks a lot like you.
The ending of this book? Oh my god, that's devastating. Wow. Didn't think we would go there, to be honest. Definitely a bit darker than I thought, but also my cats conspire against me. Every single time I try to sit down to start reading, one or the other will try to pester me. Can't complain though. It's so wonderful that they do that and they love showing affection. But I'm telling you, sometimes I just want to like sit down and just lock in and just read. And they make it so hard. But yeah, I think I'm going to give this one a 3-star. I did really like this. I really liked it. So why a 3-star? I didn't really like Jess's chapters. I feel like even just like Cora's chapters as well, they just kind of took away from the main kind of momentum of Carrie's chapters. I kind of just wanted to stay with Carrie the entire time. I found her to be the most intriguing and the better of the characters, especially when it comes to the character development. She had a much better one, especially since she had to come back to town. She has like this family legacy on her shoulders as well. And seeing that through the book is like very eye-opening. But also I kind of like the exploration of the fact that sometimes family legacy can hold you back. Sometimes it's like not always ideal, and we need that progress, we need that change. And that is also perfectly captured in Cora too, and like her own character journey. So there were some like really good positive things that I really took from this book. But yeah, I just wasn't really a big fan of Justice stuff. I was like, yeah, could take it or leave it. And I think that did impact my enjoyment. And this is definitely very nicely written, as in like there's lots of description, but there's also quite an overabundance of almost like inspirational quotes and things like that. It almost felt like a little bit of a playbook. Has anyone seen Single All the Way, which I only just watched actually last week. I only watched it last week. And Kathy Najimy's character continuously gives people like signs with inspirational quotes on. It kind of felt like the author took a lot of that and imbued it into her narrative, because you will get that every now and then, just a little bit of an inspirational quote, something like a little bit more like uplifting every now and then. So like I didn't mind it too much, but I did find it to be a little bit distracting when I could see it popping up, you know, so often. This is definitely more like magical realism, and it was very low-key, it was very subtle, nothing too outward, and a lot of it comes from emotion. So it was very intriguing having that kind of magical element without it being too like fantasy. It felt like this could be real, and it definitely kept that spirit of practical magic, I think. Maybe less so the movie and more so the book. So if you've read the book, it is a bit different from what I remember to the movie. I definitely prefer the movie, but the book by Alice Hoffman, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I would compare the two in terms of like how magic is depicted, the role of the women in the family, and how these women are impacted by destiny or a curse and things like that. So I feel like this is almost a bit of a spiritual sister to practical magic, but not as entertaining as the film. The film is always elite. The film, Practical Magic, always elite. So this isn't quite like that, but I was very intrigued by the introduction of the stranger and how Carrie would develop through the arrival of this stranger and what she opens up about when that happens. But yeah, I continue to love the descriptions of the town of Woodsmoke and the little magical elements of it too. I thought that was very good. So yeah, lots of positive things to take from this book. And yeah, again, like 3 stars sounds low, but it's really not. Like 3 stars is absolutely fine. I don't think this would be one that I would ever reread. I will most likely donate this to my library at my next library donation date, which I do seem to do quite often, but maybe I don't want to be a little bit of a bitch with all of the unholing. So I will probably limit it down to like maybe, you know, every 4 or 5 months, every 6 months maybe. So I'm not due an unhaul anytime soon, but this was good. It just didn't smoke my wood, if you know what I mean. I really wanted to try and get the spin the wheel on my phone, but it won't log me in. So I am going to have to go upstairs and turn the computer back on and do the spin the wheel then, because I am dying to find out what shelf I'm going to next. I still need to start the second Death of Locke, so I won't be able to read the next book anytime soon. But yeah, let's go upstairs. Okay, let's find out what shelf number 2 is going to be, and we're going to again shuffle it 7 times. I think that also helps because you will know that I'm definitely not cheating with these pulls. So shuffle 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spin the wheel. My lucky number 7. Let's see if that shelf is actually a lucky one for me. So we're not going too far down. We're only going right here. Shelf number 7. Just off the top of my head, I can't quite remember what's on the shelf, but let's hope there is something wintry, festive, something like that. So shelf number 7 will be this one. Okay. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I don't think that has any... I mean, that could be like good cozy vibes. Wild Wicked Things, Clockwork Girl, House of Whispers. Oh, Murder at Holly House. Here we have an actual Christmas story. So this one, looking very likely to be the one. Cersei, Red, Some of Kitties, Ordinary Monster. Could you imagine me doing this? Yeah, okay. There's literally only one book on here that I think would fit the festive edition of Staying Across My Bookshelves, and that is Murder at Holly House by Denzil Meyrick. And I bought this when it came out. So when did it come out? It says 2023. So I've had this for 2 years, and I think it's about time that I give it a read. This is set in December 1952. We are in a small village, and there is a dead body found in the chimney of one of the local homes. Oh, the home is Holly House, which makes sense now from the title. Murder at Holly House. We have Inspector Frank Grasby, and it says in the summary that he is wanting to clear up some misunderstandings. So I wonder if there is some kind of past controversy that has hindered. This is not a sequel, is it? Is this a sequel? Yeah, it says Inspector Frank is a victim of some unfortunate misunderstandings. He hopes this case will help clear his name. So it sounds really good. It has like a sort of, you know, like one of the, is it like a by title, or you know what I mean? When it has like a, you know how you have like Anatomy, a Love Story? This says Murder at Holly House, the memoirs of Inspector Frank Grasby. So is this a standalone? Oh, it says Frank Grasby Mysteries #1. So this is the first in a series, but I do need to put pause on this vlog just for a day or two, and actually read the second Death of Locke. If I had gotten bookshelf #1, this could have been the one, but alas, that is not how the cookie crumbled. That is not how the wheel span.
The launch series, and oh geez, excuse me, and it's down over here. It's very fun, more fun than I thought it would. You're basically just getting on with rollerblades, biking around. You're going down these like courses that you can like punch and kick the other people as you're going down. It's like a race basically, and you have to go through gates, but it's actually quite fun. Extreme pinball, I'll tell you, it's pinball and it's pretty extreme. Although I can't speak to that because I have not launched this game, but hey, that was a big thing with like. A lot of 90s games like...
Okay, I haven't actually started my next read. It is currently Saturday night. So my next read is Murder at Holly House, so I need to start this, which I will do tomorrow. I have a pretty chill Sunday ahead of me, but I have just read all of Mourn by Junji Ito, and I've just filmed a video for my manga channel. I was literally just sitting downstairs. Well, firstly, my day. I finished the second Death of Locke at 3 p.m. today, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like sit on the sofa until 8 p.m. because I had until 8 p.m. for my book club for my channel members, and I had so much time, and I was just sitting on the sofa and I was just brain rotting. And I was like, you know what I could do instead? I could read a manga and film a video for my manga channel. And you know what, that's what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever I find myself brain rotting a little bit and just scrolling endlessly and just cycling through YouTube videos, I'll be like, you know what actually I can do? I can pick up a manga, because I freaking love manga, read it and review it for my channel. So yeah, that's what I did with Mourn. Like literally it took no time at all to read. I read a couple of chapters before I had to do my book club, and then I went back to this. It is now 20 past 10 at night, and I filmed an entire like review and like kind of like reaction to the 6 short stories in Mourn. I mean, it's not that long, so it was fine, but yeah, it means I got a whole video done for my manga channel. It's like I don't have a life outside of things, but like I knew I would just brain rot if I didn't do it, so I was like, let's do a video instead. So that's what I did. I really enjoyed Second Death of Locke, by the way, as well. I know it's not part of Staying Across My Bookshelves, but if you want my review of this, I give it 4 stars, and I will warn you as well, there is a spoiler in the last paragraph of this, because something happened to the end of chapter 5 that left me so gagged. I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe that. It was like a proper plot twist. And then when I told my channel members about this during the book club, they were like, Gavin, that's on the back of the book. And I was like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Do you know how shocked I was when it was revealed at the end of chapter 5? I freaking loved it. I'll not say what it is. But oh no, it was so good. But yeah, I give this one 4 stars. I much prefer the start of this book, and it was feeling like a 5-star at the start of this book too. I was really into the yearning, and like this is friends to lovers, but I was into the yearning, and then it just got like a little bit too much for me, and then too many conveniences happened. I do think some of it is rather easy, or like they don't have a lot of tension with some of the action, because like things just easily happened or easily got wrapped up. So I was kind of losing a little bit of faith the longer I went in, but I don't want to talk too much about it because it's not part of this vlog. But I did really like this one. 4 stars. It's good. I just hope that this one will be at least a 4-star. I am so sorry to do this, but I am DNFing this book. 84 pages in. There was a little bit of a joke about sexual assault that I was just like, okay, this is the final straw. This is not me being sensitive. There's so many boomer jokes. There's so many cringy jokes up to this point. I'm like, I hate it. I don't like the characters. There's barely anything festive going on. Christmas has been mentioned twice. It's apparently Christmas week. And yeah, like it's not festive at all. And again, I might get more festive later on, but I can't read on. I hate the personality of the main character. I hate the jokes. So yeah, we have Inspector Grasby. He comes to this village. He's new there and he's like finding his feet. He's meeting the locals. And it seems like every single local has to have some kind of humor to them that is just like, oh, so transparent and so cringy. I honestly, like, it's hard to convey just like how bad the humor is. Like, we just had like nearly a whole chapter. In fact, it's the chapter I read like last and then decided to DNF. Like, there was just like a whole chapter essentially of, you know, going to this place where she sells sandwiches and like there's just like this whole back and forth about ham and cheese, and I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck am I reading? What the actual fuck am I reading? And then even before that, when Grasby is talking to like one of his superiors and he's talking about what's happened in the past and the kind of dumbass moves that Grasby has made, and it's like he's trying to be funny. He's not funny, and he's trying to make him seem all quirky, and I can see right through you, author. I can see right through you. But like, for instance, one of the things was the superior was telling him, oh, you locked up this woman. And he was like, yeah, she was being drunk and disorderly. No, actually, she was having an epileptic fit. And there was just like really like cringy, done to death kind of jokes that were kind of like that. But the joke that kind of made me decide to DNF, the like kind of sexual assault that's being brushed aside as a bit of a joke. And he's talking to someone called Dee Dee. And they're talking about age and stuff like that. And she says, I think once folks get over 35, they all begin to look the same age-wise, I mean. She says, I don't mean really old people wrinkles and all. I had an ethics professor back home. He made a pass at me. Bad form, I muster. Mind you, the older the fiddle, the sweeter the tune, my mother used to say. And okay, maybe that doesn't sound that bad to you as I'm reading it like out of context. But like just with everything that's happening, there's like sometimes been a little bit of a weight joke every now and then as well. The whole epileptic fit joke as well. Oh my god, I'm just like, I've had enough. I have had enough. That was when I was just like, you know what, I can't take these jokes anymore. I can't take it. Every other page, they're just trying to be funny. That's not funny to me. The older the fiddle, the sweeter the tune. And she laughs, like Dee Dee bursts into a fit of giggles. You're so funny, you remind me of my dad, how he makes me laugh. The humour reminds me of, yeah, my dad as well, actually, I'm not going to lie. Really outdated, shitty humour. That is all that's coming across here. Mystery part of it, yeah, we found the body in the chimney, and that's about it. We've predominantly been focusing on him coming to this small little town. And I do love like a small, cozy, English, British village kind of vibe. I love vibes like that. And I did grow up on British sitcoms like The Vicar of Dibley, for instance, one of my absolute favourites of all time. That had fantastic humour. That is set in a small British village, and it's just so good. Like, I love the atmosphere of it. I love that small town feel of it. And this does subtly have that in this as well. We are seeing the village, and you know, we're finding out the names of the pub, and the name of the pub is a bit weird and stuff like that. Like, we are meeting all the people, and that's fine, but I hate it. I can't stand it. I have to DNF it. And yeah, nothing festive really. Christmas has been mentioned twice. Apparently it's Christmas week, and we're not seeing any Christmas decorations, or like, I know this is like set in 1952 and stuff like that, but like so I guess me saying that as well, oh, then the humour makes sense that they would have that kind of humour. I'm like, I don't want to read it. I don't want to read that kind of humour. I don't like it. So yeah, 84 pages in, DNF'd, not continuing on. But it does still mean that that shelf is done. Like, when I DNF a book, I can DNF a book. It doesn't mean I have to pick another book off that shelf. If I was going to pick another book off that shelf, it probably would be The Fairy Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It does have silver on the spine, and I think that was that one of my colours? Or was it gold? I need to look back at what I said was my colours. If not that, then maybe like The Clockwork Girl or The House of Whispers by Anna Mazzola. I think they're historical, but they could give some good vibes. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is DNF'd. Okay, let's see what the third shelf is gonna be. It was so close to being shelf number 13. It's always funny when it's like so close to being a shelf. I wonder if shelf 13 would have been better than 28. Actually, 28 is like the very final shelf. It is the very final shelf. Yeah, so shelf number 28 is all the way down here. We just missed the Freeze Your Progress power-up. But hey, we could end up getting it in the next spin, you never know. But yeah, shelf number 23. We have now, like, an entire section of the bookshelves completely blocked off. So that's not great, honestly, because like there's a huge chance of crashing now in the next couple of turns, but I still have the dash to any shelf power up. So if I do end up finding myself in that position, I can dash to the other side of that, and then avoid crashing altogether. So, you know, we are still doing okay, still having fun. Okay, so shelf number 28 is this one. In terms of like festive books, I've read The Mistletoe Promise. Oh, and I guess The Last Bear is like winter, but I've read that. Oh, I know that's not. I was like, oh, that's Christmassy, Shelley. Oh. Okay, hang on. We have Breadcrumbs. See, I can't really get to this shelf too much. I've got the Christmas tree in the way. So yeah, Breadcrumbs. This is middle grade and definitely wintry, festive. So that could be good. We also have another middle grade festive-y one, Nutcracked. So we could do a middle grade for this choice, and it would be a pretty nice one to do. Yeah, I think those are mainly the two more festive kind of books. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I'm just looking to see, is there anything else in my 25 books to read in 2025? See, I could have done Galatea as well, because I don't know if it's festive or wintry or anything, but it's tiny and it's blue. It also has like gold. That looks festive, is it? Nah, I don't think it is. And I am prioritizing the books that actually are set during Christmas or winter time. So I am prioritizing. So now I'm like, should I do Nutcracked or should I do Breadcrumbs? Okay, I have actually decided on Nutcracked because this is a festive Christmas book, and Breadcrumbs looks amazing, don't get me wrong. It is a Snow Queen retelling, and I really love the Snow Queen, but I feel like I could read that any month in the winter, whereas this one, really, you should read at Christmas time. So I'm very excited to give this a go. This one follows a young girl, I believe she's called Georgie, and she's always wanted to play the part of Clara in the Nutcracker, and she has the chance to, and every single time she dances with a Nutcracker doll, it transports her into, I think, the Nutcracker world, and the more she does it, the more she loves it, but the magic from that place is seeping into the real world, and I believe Georgie's best friend, or just friend in general, somehow gets in danger because of it. So I'm actually really excited to read it. I haven't read a really cool, middle grade in a while. Actually, there is one that I'm coming up to reading because it's part of the members book club called Snow and Rose. And that one, if I had have gotten the shelf that it's on, that would have been great because I would have been able to have killed two birds with one stone. But no, we are reading this separately. But I am excited for Snow and Rose as well. But I do love the Nutcracker story, so it will hopefully be represented very well in this middle grade adaptation. I also, well, not adaptation, it's like inspired by, but it's not like retelling it. But I do have the audiobook on Spotify, so I don't have to like pay for an audiobook or anything. It was on Libby, but one person is using it, probably Florence. One person is using it at the minute. So I have put a hold on it just in case it comes through in like the next 10 minutes. But it is on Spotify, so it is free on Spotify to listen to. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do an audiobook because I haven't listened to an audiobook in a fair minute. So yeah, it's going to be nice and cozy, hopefully. And then I do have a members movie night tonight for Wake Up Dead Man. And that is in about 4 hours time. So can I listen to this before the movie night? Probably not. But yeah, I'll just cozy down, probably make one last gingerbread coffee of the day. And yeah, we'll have a little bit of middle grade magic in these festive sneak across my bookshelves for the first time. I feel like such a mistress with this on. I don't know why, I just feel like I'm about to open the front door to a police officer and say, "No, officer, I did not kill my husband." That is just what I feel like. My movie night is in 45 minutes and I've just finished Nutcracked by Susan Adrian. And this cover gives you such a different expectation of what you actually get, in my humble opinion. I don't think this was... It had the plot of a middle grade with the characters of young adult. if that makes sense. Like, the characters are bratty. They talk about more like young adult things and young adult issues and little kind of like classroom dramas with talk of boys and kissing and stuff like that. So like, I wasn't really like the biggest fan of character in this. And even then, I don't think the plot really like felt as magical as I kind of wanted it to be. The whole plot with Georgie dancing with the Nutcracker, because, you know, she's doing it as part of the Nutcracker play, and she has become the second casted Clara. So there is another girl who got like first cast or whatever that meant in Georgie's second cast, and Georgie's best friend doesn't make it into it. So there's a little bit of like tension, a little bit of drama between them. And I was like, okay, like that kind of makes sense because, you know, there's jealousy involved and all that. So I thought that was fine. Although it did break my heart to say like best friends are not getting along and like how devastated Georgie was because of it. So that was like really touching. And also the fact that Georgie does have this like second plot about her grandfather. So her grandfather is unconscious in the hospital and he's not really waking up. And so that is also another very apparent plot thread running through this story. And yeah, so every time Georgie dances with this Nutcracker thing that her dance teacher has brought in for the play, every time she dances with it, she's transported to that different world. But it happens like very sporadically. It happens in little bursts. And then we only get to the magical realm a few times, like not that often. And some of it is like, oh, how do we get back there if we can't get the Nutcracker and stuff like that? So like, I totally get it from a story standpoint. But I'm telling you, this cover makes it look like it's really magical and rather like childlike. It wasn't really. And yes, this is set during Christmas time, and there is the prominent mention of the Nutcracker and the story, and I do love the story of the Nutcracker, but I didn't feel that Christmas magic in this, unfortunately. And I think a lot of it is because of the fact that the characters act like teenagers. I don't actually know how old they're supposed to be. I do believe they are in middle school. So I was thinking they were maybe 10, 11, 12. But no, it felt more like 15-year-olds, the way that they were talking and going on. However, it is like pretty quick to fly through. So I'm glad I got it off my TBR. I think I've had this for about 3 years. I think I had this on my shelves in 2022. So very nice to actually get to it. But yeah, not one I think I would ever revisit, which is a bit of a shame. I think just different expectations let me down a little bit. Guys, I'm such a dumbass. I forgot to click record. I did the shuffles, I did the spin, and I did the whole, like, moving the snake across the shelf thing. And I didn't click record on this, but I still have the recording, like the screen recording of the screen doing the spin and the other thing. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the spin and all of that. Honestly, technical difficulties. 7 years on BookTube means absolutely freaking nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, nearly 7 years. Right, you know what? I'm gonna mime it. Okay, let's remember to shuffle the wheel 7 times this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spin the wheel. See, you can't even tell, can you? Shelf number 26, but it was so close again to being shelf number 13. Every single time the wheel stops, it's just so close to being another shelf. So, okay, shelf number 26. Okay, and then, right, we'll finish that. And that's when I bloody realised what was on shelf bloody number 26. So let's say if I still have the voice on the other recording, I'll act it out. You know what part of me is thinking, should I have shuffled 7 times? But as you can see, we have arrived on the shelf with the naughty list on it. Oh no. And that means I have to read a book off that shelf that I am the most likely to unhaul. Great. I will still prioritize the winter reads and the Christmas reads on that shelf. See if there is a wintry or Christmas book that I am more likely to unhaul than anything else. But if I just realised I haven't even clicked record. That was when I realised I didn't click record. Let's take it from the top. Let's listen to that again. This was the moment I realized that shit had hit the fan. Hold on anything else, but if the I just realized I haven't even clicked record. Dumb bitch. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to see that I did do all of that. Like, I'm not cheating or anything. Well, if anything, I probably should have just took it from the top again and just scrapped all of that and been like, oh, let's do our first spin. Because, yeah, I got the bad power up. I got the bad power up. No. So, yeah, I just want to show you. I have spun. I am now on shelf number 26. I just didn't click record on this because I'm a dumbass. Right, let's go to the gash cam. Let's see what is on shelf number 26 and what I am the most likely to unhaul off that shelf. So shelf number 26 is all the way down here. We love the bottom shelf. So I've read all of the Beth Rickles, and this is a Christmas one that I read back in 2019, I want to say. So there's a Christmas book. Any more like festive books on this one? No, I don't think so. I don't think there is. So what am I most likely to unhaul? Good grief. Probably Powerless, I'm not going to lie. Which I did not want to read for Festive staying across my bookshelves. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I bought this one because my friend in Australia recommended it. And I don't think I will love it. I feel like maybe I might have an entertaining time. But I don't know if it's for me, really. I don't really think it's for me. So, potentially Powerless. I've had these Victoria Schwab books for years, and I don't know if I'm going to bother with them, to be honest. Because I don't fully love V.A. Schwab's works that much. Also, this might also be the one as well. Guernsey Literary Potato, the Peel Pie Society, whatever. I really enjoyed the film when I saw it years ago, so I bought this. And this has been unhauled a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it has actually been in one or two of my unhaul videos, and I kept getting comments, please don't unhaul it, try it, read it. And I think it is all epistolary, all in letter format. And this has actually been in unhaul videos before. Oh. And I think that's probably it for what I'm likely to unhaul. Probably these two. I mean, I might end up enjoying Powerless, but this has been one that I've considered unhauling. Like, I've actually considered unhauling. It has been in an unhaul video. Maybe once, maybe twice. So I feel like, per the rules of the power-up, the bad power-up, it should be this one. But for a video, I feel like doing Powerless would be a lot more entertaining. So what do I do? What do I do? The movie night is now over, and I had a fun time watching Wake Up Dead Man. It's probably not my favourite Knives Out film in the series, but I still liked it, and most of my members did too. It was a fun time. But I did ask them, what do you think I should read between the Literary Potato Peel Pie Society book and Powerless? And a lot of people said they would be more interested to hear my thoughts on Powerless. So that is what I am actually going to read from that shelf. And honestly, after rereading the back of it, this is what gets me. Sometimes I do feel a little bit of pressure if I'm with a friend. They're like, oh my God, I love this so much. Like, you should get it too. I'm like, oh yeah, I should. I feel like I remember reading the summary of this when I picked it up in Australia last year. And it just, it sounds like so many other things. You know, there's apparently like trials. The main character is thrown into some trials after saving a prince. And I'm like, oh, not this again. Oh shit, here we go again. It sounds like so many things that I've read before. But also some of my members did say that there was like some controversy that this might have plagiarized Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I've never read Red Queen before, so I can't speak on that. But yeah, this is the book that I'm choosing from that shelf. Definitely, I think, I mean, because I feel like I would still enjoy the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, because I did like the film, and that's why I picked the book up. But I do think this is probably the one that I will like the least. So it is the book that I'm most likely to unhaul from the shelf. Even though that's been in a video before, I think this is the one. So yeah, this is set in a world with the elites who have powers, and they've banished all of the ordinaries from the realm. Yeah, ordinaries are banished from the kingdom. of Ilya. And our main character is called Payden Grey. Payden Grey. Payden Grey. That name sounds familiar. Payden Grey. Anyway, yeah, she's an ordinary person as a sidekick to blend in with the elites. But she saves the prince, Kai, and she's thrown into some trials. Why? I don't know. Thrown in the pigeon trials. Real competition. Showcasing the elite's powers. Hey. Okay. I'm gonna start now. It's like 10 p.m. I'm gonna start now. I also forgot to say as well, when we started the movie night, I started the wrong film. So we got like 8 minutes into the film, and I was like, guys, I'm watching the wrong film. I've accidentally put on Glass Onion, not Wake Up Dead Man. And I didn't realize until we were like 8-9 minutes in. So we had to like restart the movie night, and it's already 2 hours and 18 minutes long, the movie. So it's already a long one anyway. Oh God, I was a mess. Okay, it's midnight and Kayla has just uploaded her Goodreads video, and I'm like, right as I'm about to go to bed. So I need to watch that, obviously. But yeah, midnight, and I'm about to get ready for bed, so I need to like brush my teeth. And I've been starting to have these like sleep aid gummies. I mean, I've only been having them for about like maybe 5 days. I don't know if they're actually doing anything. You take them a half an hour before bedtime. But I need to brush my teeth. Need to put on my sleep tape. Need to listen to My Boyfriend Drops 50 Metal Pipes ASMR. Just so you know, like really wind down. So as I am about to do that, I don't know how I feel about vlogging in here. It's so weird. It is so weird. I literally have one of my sex toys drying in the shower. Anyway, yeah, 39 pages into the Powerless book. And like, I don't dislike it. I don't. But I hate every single man who opens their mouth in this book. Like, Kai is the like male main character. And we get his POV, so we're split between Payden, she is our female main character, and then Kai is our male main character. And like the male main character, he is fighting or like doing like a bit of sparring with his half brother. And Kai's like, oh, you're the ruler, you're going to be the person ruling and stuff. This is why you'll be ruling the country while I'll fight on the battlefield, distracting the enemy with my dash and good looks. I think this is like the 3rd line he's ever said. And he's coming across as so cocky and arrogant, which can make for good character progression as the book goes on. Maybe he stops becoming cocky and becomes an actual decent person. But then the guy who Payden bumps into in chapter 4, because like Payden likes to rob from people, she's a thief. And she bumps into this guy and he says, do you always fall in the arms of handsome strangers? Or is this a new thing for you? What is the men's fascination call themselves handsome in good looks and stuff in this book? Like only 3 men have opened their mouths. If I had a dime for every single time a man opened their mouths and gave themselves praise, I would have 3 dimes. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 3 times in 5 chapters. No, 4 chapters. But Payden, I actually don't mind Payden. She starts off the book robbing from a store. And obviously that's not a very good thing, but when you hear about where she's come from and the slums that she lives in, and I do have some sympathy there for her. She is, hiding out in this place with, what was her name? Aiden or something? Adina. They're both poor and they seem to be like living together. And so far nothing's really happened except just like setting up these characters. Kai is a arrogant asshole. Payden loves to steal from the rich and give to herself. There was one huge convenience as well. So Payden does spot this random apprentice and she does rob from him. She gets a letter out of his pocket. And it turns out that this letter, weirdly, has her address. And I don't understand that. I don't understand like how she can spot like this the bustling marketplace, and she spotted this random ass person, and she nicks something from him, not knowing who he is, and it turns out the letter has her address. And it's like, well, why are they meeting at my address later today? Isn't that like so convenient? I don't think that was a spoiler though, because I don't know what's going to happen with that. If anything happens at all, it seems to have been just brushed off so far. Because I think that happened in chapter 3. Now, I've finished chapter 4. But I feel like those are just like some of my little nitpicky problems so far. I mean, the story's moving along fine, we're still early days, the writing is fine, but it does feel like a lot of other young adult fantasy books that I've read in the past. Very Throne of Glass, very Twin Crowns, very Cinder, and I feel like it's just like an amalgamation of all of these things that I've already read. But I haven't read Red Queen, which is apparently what this is actually, plagiarized. Say that though, if this is entertaining, I could still end up enjoying this. But anyway, yeah, that's my little update from the bathroom. I don't know if we'll make a habit of it, to be honest. I don't know how it sounds in here. I don't know how it looks. It might look awful. But yeah, now it's time to brush my teeth. Get my ASMR boyfriend on.
At the same time, people are so complex and unlikable and messy. There's a lot of generational trauma references are concerning. Why a fantasy? You know what? At this moment in time, I definitely couldn't predict what the winner would be.
Exactly. Who wipes anymore? Anyways, the exit is right down the steps. Whoa! Let's just say I'm okay. What did I do to deserve this? Okay, I was like so many cons. Somehow, miraculously, I'm still alive. What's that sound?
Right, before I tell you why Kai is a Nazi in Powerless, I did do a lot of stuff today. I've been filming a lot. I did my library challenge today. I mean, I still have more of my library challenge to do, but I went all the way to my library today, one that's further away, and I'm starting my December challenge. It's about time. Also filmed a book haul, which I also edited, did the thumbnail, everything. So now I am getting ready to just buckle down and read Powerless today. It is a Monday. And yeah, I just read one chapter before I thought, you know what, I need to come on and talk about it. Kai is a Nazi. Literally. So Kai, as I mentioned, he is the son of the king. The king has asked him to, go out into like the slums and detect whether or not this family is hiding in Ordinary. And so yeah, Kai goes to this house. And have you ever seen that scene in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where the child catcher comes and the kids are hiding and the child catcher walks over a rug and you can hear the creaking of the floorboards below, so he goes downstairs and he catches them, but although they've kind of disguised themselves so he doesn't actually catch them. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. That's exactly what Kai does. Kai goes to this house. A poor family, a very poor family, is living there, and they're like, are you hiding in Ordinary? They're like, no. He's like, okay, well, I'll have a little look around. And so he walks over this rug and he hears the creak. He goes down and he finds this girl who they've been hiding, and the girl is supposed to be executed. The family's supposed to be, banished. And so Kai takes the girl and he lets her go, and that's like his act of, oh, this is me being a good guy because I'm not actually going to kill her. She's a child. Like, that's awful. I can't kill her. She's a child. So he lets the child get back with the family and still banishes them. They're still banished. They're going to die. He even says, oh, this will be a quicker death for her if I just kill her outright. But I'm actually condemning her to a slower death by making this family get banished. None of that would have happened if he didn't go down into the cellar thing. Like when he was walking over the rug and he was like, oh, there's like a creak. I need to check on it here. He did not need to do that. He did not need to do that. I feel like the author was trying to present him as a good character because he let her live. But he's just condemned them to die. There was no need in that whatsoever. He is a Nazi. That poor family. Like, they're like begging and, oh God, it's just awful. And that's your love interest? That is who is the main love interest in this? But yeah, the author is literally actively trying to make him seem like a good guy. Like... Yeah, they've been banished into the desert. Nathan, the dad, who was like, please don't kill her, she's my daughter, even though they found her. So, like, this is like a found family. They took in this ordinary, they've looked after her. And yeah, Nathan is like, why did you not kill her? And he says, I don't kill children. I watch as they walk to their doom. Literally, if he was just going to end up letting her go, the child go, and like he wasn't going to kill her or anything, he wasn't going to execute her, why in the world did he reveal them? Why in the world did he go down into the cellar thing and reveal that they were hiding in ordinary? He could have said, oh, there's no one here. And they all would have lived. They all would have lived, including the child that you don't kill. I don't get it. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler for that chapter. That's literally chapter 5. I don't like Kai. I hate Kai. I'm still going to read. But that pissed me off. What? Why would you do that? You're a Nazi. I've just read a couple more pages, and the cocky, arrogant arsehole who Payton knocked into in the previous chapter, that was Kai. I should have known. You know how I was like, oh, are all the men in this world just like full of themselves? It's just Kai. And also, when I'm referring to him as like a Nazi, he does have a reputation of doing what he did all the time. He does it all the time. He is the one who discovers any families who are hiding ordinaries, and he's condemned a lot of people to death. So he is the worst. He is the absolute worst. How can you redeem that? How can you redeem that? You can't. So I'm already not rooting for this, and look how much in I am. Oh, it's so chilly today. So chilly. Got my coffee. First coffee of the day, actually. It is 12. It is currently midday. But I have 7 hours until I have reading sprints with Gabby. A little collaboration between our Patreon and channel membership. And I have a fair bit left of Powerless left to read. I am on page 224 now. So I did get quite a far way into it last night. And like, I do want to finish this. I'm not going to take an effort. But like, I don't root for a love story where the guy works for ICE. He essentially works for ICE, let's be honest. And with his reputation as well, like, they're calling him a monster and everything like that. And then when Idina, who is Payton's best friend, when she first hears that she ran into the prince, she's like, oh my god, is he as handsome as they say? I guess it's okay to kill and slaughter whole families of people and condemn them to death, especially when they're people like you, Idina. That's all okay as long as they're hot. Okay, I get it. I mean, it doesn't help that the characters are incredibly shallow. Like, even Payton says, my fear is quickly replaced by a much more welcome emotion, anger. I'm angry with myself for helping the prince who kills like it's nothing and grants his father's wishes like he is everything. I'm angry for finding him not repulsive. Since the very kingdom he's so loyal to makes me sick with its twisted values and beliefs. He's the future enforcer, the executioner of innocence, of ordinaries, of people like me. And yet she doesn't find him repulsive because he's got dimples, guys. He's got dimples. Oh, he's so cute. She is trying very hard to be Katniss Everdeen. And I do really see a whole lot of like Throne of Glass and Hunger Games comparisons here as well. So, you know, she is getting this high life before all of like the trials. Before that, she is able to stay in the palace. She has an amazing bedroom. She actually has a bed. She has fancy clothes. Oh my gosh, like the amount of times I've read stories like that though, I'm bored. I'm so bored of that. And yeah, she's given an interview, and I kind of like the interview where, you know, because they have to interview all of the contestants and they have to win people's favour, and the more points that they gather, the best that they'll do. And I'm just like, yep, I've read this before. But I did kind of like the interview, but like at the same time, she's saying about like how she's going to fight and like she's standing by her morals and stuff like that. But I'm like, you're getting wet for a guy who works for ICE. There's just a little bit too much hypocrisy with her. By this point as well, I think just under halfway through, they do care a lot for one another already. And I think the author's trying to really paint Kai in a positive light by being like, oh, he has a conscience. He does all of this. He kills people and he deports people and he condemns entire families to death. But I think the author's trying to make it look like, oh, Kai has a conscience and he might see the error of his ways. That might be where we're leading to. And maybe Peyton will help him see the error of his ways. Jail. What he needs is jail. He needs to atone for what he's done because, hey, the stuff that happens in real life, the genocides, the deportations, ICE, things like that, oh my God, so awful. How could you fall for somebody who works for that? And even if one of them was like, oh, I have a conscience now, I feel bad about it, pay for your crimes. Pay for your crimes. I mean, I don't know if that's where we're going, but that's what it feels like. It feels like the author's trying to paint Kai as sympathetic. And I'm not sympathetic. I'm not sympathetic at all. He has chosen to kill so many people, so many innocent people. And that's just, that's not a romance to me. If Peyton turns around and kills him at the end of this book, 5 stars. 5 stars. If she's playing a long game with him, oh my God. Although I guess, would that be a spoiler if I then end up giving this book 5 stars? Because then you'll know what happens at the end. I do apologise. I doubt it. I doubt that's what's going to happen. Anyway, I'm going to get back to it. I care for no one, by the way. But I do want to finish this. I do want to see where it goes. I want to see how the author wraps up the storyline. Because I feel like they've written themselves into a corner here. And I don't understand how you can make Kai look like a good person. I genuinely don't understand it. So I'm excited to see how the author does that. If she does that. I doubt it.
Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, such pleasure do you bring me. Oh, Christmas tree, such pleasure do you bring me. For every year this Christmas tree brings to us such joy and glee. Oh, Christmas tree, such pleasure do you bring me.
I need anyone who enjoys this book to just tune out now or skip ahead. Skip ahead. I had to listen to the rest of this via audio and I was inputting all of my 2023 reads into Storygraph and I still haven't even bloody finished. I still haven't even finished. I've still got all of them and I've been doing that for the last like 2-3 hours. Yeah, and I still have my December reads of 2023 to put in. But I'm finding it so much fun. I love inputting data into Storygraph. It's just so relaxing to me. And it's a bit of a brainless activity as well, so I could listen to the rest of this via audio and, you know, still take it in. And I was really hoping that I wouldn't. I was really hoping that I wouldn't take it in. I will say, I did kind of like the action towards the end. There were some little bits and bobs in the plot that actually did pick up the pace, and I wasn't hating my life reading that part, I'm not gonna lie. But I will say, the Purging Trials, absolute rip-off of everything else. It got so Goblet of Fire and Hunger Games. We even had, like, beat for beat, some plot points in the Hunger Games. And, oh my gosh, was I sick to death of people staring death in the face and walking away. Like, the amount of times the main character as well was, like, knocking on death's door, and she was fine. She was absolutely fine. The amount of plot armor, the amount of conveniences was so overwhelming. And even, you know, like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but the king is like, oh, I decided to keep you alive this entire time. I knew who you were this entire time, but I decided to keep you alive because, well, he doesn't explain why. He's just like, I knew all of this, but now I don't need you anymore, so I want to try and kill you now. What are you saying? What do you mean? Like, you've kept her alive, you kept her doing all of this for this amount of time. You won't explain why. You don't even tell us why you need her. There's no reason for her to have been there for the king to use her. There's just no explanation for it. Like, if he knew this entire time, why? Why? I'm telling you, plot armor. Plot armor and conveniences, it doesn't make sense. There's just genuinely no reason. I've written all of my notes down because I didn't want to annotate this because I knew I would unhaul this. And hey, I was right. The power-up, the bad power-up of the book I'm most likely to unhaul off that shelf, this definitely turned out to be correct. Yeah, the amount of times she greets death and nothing happens. Like, she's like, I greeted death. Okay, and then you just turned around and walked away every single time. But yeah, there was actually one person who was in the face of death who did actually die. I'll not say who, but it was a very Hunger Games moment from the first book. I'll not say the character's name because there might still be people who haven't read the Hunger Games yet or seen it. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's definitely a death in the first Hunger Games. And it was just like a beat for beat, play by play. Oh yeah, and there was like a big song and dance about how Kai couldn't leave the castle walls and like he was forced to stay inside it. And yeah, we have a scene where Peyton wants to leave and yeah, the guard doesn't let her. And then Kai comes out of nowhere and he's like, oh, let her out. And then the guards let her out. He's like, oh, you have new orders now. You have to do it because I said so. So like, why in the world has Kai never actually left the castle if he can easily tell the guards what to do who are watching the gate, watching the exit to the castle? He can easily tell them what to do and he never leaves. It doesn't make sense. Oh, so repetitive as well. The amount of times Peyton in every single one of her POV chapters, she was like, if they knew the truth about me, I would be dead. They would kill me. They hate people like me. Pretty much every single POV chapter of Peyton's. It got so repetitive, so old, and I was like, well, girl, why in the world are you sticking your tongue up Kai's ass if this is the thing? I mean, we even find out at the start of chapter 35 that torturing keeps Kai sane and killing makes him feel alive, apparently in chapter 44. There was like some, like, I didn't kind of see it coming. Like, there was like a little bit of a twist towards the end, but in my defense, Peyton told us something and you just have to like take her at face value. So if a character's wrong, they're wrong, you know? So I can't exactly say exactly what that is, but I feel like if you read this, you'll probably know. I just find it a little bit, again, convenient that she tells us one thing and it turned out to be another. But yeah, I just really did not want Peyton and Kai to start this whole like love story and be falling in love. It just made me sick to my stomach. It really did. They're just like sitting there talking like, oh, what's your favourite colour? What's your favourite food? Is there a specific family that you regret condemning to death? Yeah, I felt no sympathy. The amount of times Peyton has sympathy for him, and yet in the same breath was like, but he kills a lot of people. He kills a lot of people of my kind. So yeah, I just hated it. I gave it 1 star. But hey, at least I finished it. I didn't want to do another DNF in this video. I think one DNF, I mean, if I'm forced to, then absolutely. But I did want to see, and it did seem like maybe there would be some change in the kingdom if Peyton like really like tried and helped and stuff. I get that. But at the same time, these are war crimes and they all need to pay for them. Tobu, come here. What's this? What's this? What's this? And we'll come back, Tobu. Oh no, he ran. That's broken my heart. Okay, I'm glad that my reading sprint's on until 7 p.m. today, because usually they start at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, but I'm doing them with Gabby, and she's hosting them, and they're going to start at 7. So it's now 4:40 p.m. And if I had to start sprints at 4 p.m., I would have been so close to finishing, and it just would have delayed me finishing that god-awful book. So let's hope that the next one is so much better. Right, okay, oh, let's shuffle 7 times. Let's not forget, make sure that we're recording, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spin the wheel. Okay, shelf number 19. I think maybe there is a potential of crashing with shelf number 19. Yeah, shelf number 19 would mean... Oh, it's lagging. We are lagging, and that was a terrible line anyway. Shelf number 19 would mean that we would crash here. However, we do have a power-up where we can dash to any shelf. And I could just dash to shelf number 19, and that would mean that I wouldn't have to form a line of the snake. Like, I don't think I explained the rules that well in the very start of what the power-ups can do. So dashing to any shelf means that I won't leave anything behind. So I'll be dashing to it so quickly that it won't form a snake. So instead of crashing to shelf number 19, we could dash to shelf number 19. However, we can also have a little, I can dash to any shelf. So let's have a little look at the shelves. First, let's look at shelf number 19, because there might be something on there that I might desperately want to read. But yeah, let's have a look. One rule I will be giving myself is that I can't dash to a shelf with a good power-up on. So I feel like I would be taking the piss if I used a good power-up to gain another good power-up. I have to earn those good power-ups naturally. So I know you're probably saying, oh, just dash to shelf number 5 and get the sleigh. Or dash to shelf number 23 and get the snowflake. Come on, that would be cheating. So that is where we need to go. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh crap, which one? 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so 19 is this one. Is there anything on here that I could potentially read that is like festive? Yeah, nothing. Nothing on this shelf is festive, like, at all. This is blue. I've read the majority of things on this shelf, actually. Traveling Cat Chronicles. There's, like, nothing on this shelf that I would actually really want to read. So we're gonna not go to shelf number 19. Let's have a look to see if there are any other shelves. That would be great. I can't really do anything strategic here, so let's go back to the shelves thing. I can't really do anything strategic here because it doesn't matter where I go. The next time I do a part of the snake, I could still end up crashing because that's gone all the way down the middle there. So I could, because I was like, oh, what if I go all the way over here? I would be very, very safe. But what if I get like 16? What if I get like 11 or 6? You know what I mean? Like there's just always going to be something where I'm going to most likely crash. So we can't really do anything strategic. So let's just pick a shelf that I am just like really excited about. I'm trying to think of where I have some good kind of festive reads or like wintry reads. I've been wanting to read Upon a Frosted Star for such a long time. I really enjoyed Midnight Neverwood, and I've had this for probably like 3 years, so that would be a good option. The Warm Hands of Ghosts as well by Catherine Arden. I think it is like historical. I read the first chapter. I think it's wintry, but like in terms of like festive Christmas, I don't know if I have very many. I really don't think I've got very many, to be honest. Don't really want to go back to the shelf I was just on. Oh, I mean, there is Script to Scream, which I just mentioned in a book haul. This is horror, but it is set in a abandoned Christmas theme park, and it follows a main character who is a D-list actress, and she was the final girl in Evil Elf, which was a Christmas themed horror franchise. And now she is having a bit of a resurgence of her career by going to this Tinseltown. So that could actually like really work. It's like horror and Christmas put together, and I haven't read like anything like that, so that could be good. That could be a good shelf. Like, what else festive do I have? There's always the Arctic Railway Assassin, which is the final Adventures on Trains book, which has taken me, like 3 years to read. It's the final book in the series, and I still haven't read it. That could work, because it is Arctic, it is wintry. Do I fancy another middle grade? What is this? Animal Life, I believe, is also something that is quite wintry. Yeah, definitely very wintry. I bought this when I was in Iceland. That could be a good shout. There is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Had that for a long time. You know what? I feel like out of all of these... oh, hello. Yeah, I've been doing all of that. I had no idea Tobo was on my chair. Hello, Tobo. Hiya, beautiful man. I didn't see you there. Is that Ash? I heard a bang. Ash must have been like, how dare you give Tobo attention and not me attention? How dare you? Yeah, I think out of all the ones I mentioned, I do think the Christmassy horror one, Script to Scream, by James and Lydia Hicks, could be the one. It's the one I think out of all the ones I mentioned I'm the most excited about, and it is brand new as well, so yay for a new release. It's shelf number 22 that book is on, that we will be dashing to, and I know it looks a little bit risky. Right now, but it's fine, because who knows, maybe I might get like again, like 11, 6, 1, 21, 16, I could still get things on this side. So yeah, it's literally anyone's game at the minute. Well, my game. This is my current setup for the sprints I'm about to do with Gabby, which will be awesome. Yeah, cracking thumbnail, Gabby. You've outdone yourself. But yeah, isn't this so cute and cozy? Love it. I am so ready for a night of fantastic reading. Even though I have training at 9 a.m, it's currently, well, nearly 7 p.m. and using this as a microphone stand. But Script to Scream by James and Lydia Hicks. I have just mentioned this in my book haul. I had to quickly do the CCs for it because it went live nearly 2 hours ago now, and I really wanted to make sure the CCs were done and stuff, but I was a little bit late. Then I remembered I said, I really hope I get this in Festive sneak across my bookshelves, and lo and behold, I mean, that's what I did. I used my dash power up to get onto this shelf. The author's mum drew the actual map for Tinseltown, which I freaking love. Like, isn't that so amazing? So cute. There's like Elf Village, Toy Town, Reindeer Park, and yeah, this will be perfect for Festive sneak across my bookshelves, which is why I really wanted to read it in this vlog. So now I'm going to sit down, started during the sprints. I still haven't finished doing the 2023 reads in my story graph. I only have December to go, but I remember I did 24 manga in 24 hours during that Christmas, I guess, during December. So I read a lot of books in December 2023, so I need to add all of that still, and then I only have 2024 to fill in all of my 2024 reads, and then I'm done. I'm all caught up with all of the reads that I've ever read since 2018. And then I would like to try and go like even further back and do the books I read at uni, maybe try and fill in some books that I read as a child if I can remember when I read them, and all of that. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying filling it in. I'm finding it so fun. I'd better go. I think Gabby wants to meet up a little bit before we go live. So yeah, let's sprint.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird. Here to stay is the new bird. To sing a love song while we stroll along. Walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman. We'll pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no man. But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire. To face unafraid the plans that we made. Walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman. We'll pretend that he's Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no man. But you can do the job when you're in town.
Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire. To face unafraid the plans that we've made. Walking in a winter wonderland.
Say it with us.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Everybody.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Another day, another barrier stop. Ash, that's my seat. I literally just put all my stuff down because I wanted to sit there. Yes, why are you sitting there for? That's where I wanted to sit. Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you. Okay, me being a little seat stealer. I have not long come back from training and made myself my first coffee of the day. It is 11:30 a.m. I did sprints last night with Gabby and they were so good. I love hanging out with Gabby so much. Had lots to talk about, lots of yapping, lots of reading as well. I have managed to make it a page 103 of this during the reading sprints last night. And I did also manage to finish all of my Storygraph data inputting that I had to do from 2023. So now I just have 2024 left to do. So there's one more year and that's all of my books inputted. I cannot wait to get that finished. But yeah, Script to Scream, I am really enjoying this so far, and the bloody tree keeps getting us. I was talking about this with Gabby last night during the reading sprints, because Gabby was reading Your Favorite Scary Movie, which is a non-fiction book, which is like the behind the scenes of Scream. She was reading that, and then I was like, oh my god, there's kind of some similarities here, because Jennifer, who is the main character, and she was the final girl in the Evil Elf series. The parts I've just read, like she's come to Tinseltown and she has another co-star who played like the killer in the Evil Elf series, and they're like reminiscing on the place, like on the setting that they're at, and they're talking about memories that they had on set, and it was like really lovely. And I was like, we're kind of both reading things, like this is like a fiction book where it's like a fake franchise and they're talking about like little behind the scenes things, and you're reading a non-fiction that has literal behind the scenes things. So the irony was not lost on me. I just love the fact that we just kind of matched. We kind of matched each other's vibe last night. But no, this is like really good. And it is one of those things where I would love if the Evil Elf franchise actually existed. So like we start off with a kind of review for a DVD box set for the Evil Elf series, and it just made me want to have this world exist, because I also am fascinated by behind the scenes things and things that go into making horror movies, because I read a Scream one called It All Began With a Scream, and that was really fascinating. And I've seen lots of videos on YouTube about like the behind the scenes of horror films, and like special features like always fascinate me. One thing that I do miss about home media is the special features. Like you can't get all of that on streaming. So yeah, I love the fact that we started off kind of making it so that this world felt real and the franchise that the main character belonged in feels real. And yeah, so we meet Jennifer, and she is not the nicest, but I kind of love the fact that she is portrayed in a way that like she does come off as quite rude, but you can feel her desperation. She is an actress from the past and her fame has dwindled. She can't really get new roles. She's kind of pigeonholed into the whole like final girl trashy horror trope kind of thing, and you can see her desperately wanting to work and wanting to like move on from that. But over the years she's kind of crossed quite a few people, so I don't know if that's going to come back to, because like there is a killer on the loose, there has been a death, and that was pretty exciting, but I'm just like, has Jennifer stepped on too many toes that this is now karma coming back to get her? But it's also like so weird as well, the way that everything's come about. So like a fan does approach her at a convention, and yeah, he's like, oh, I've got a fan script, I'll pay you $60,000 for you to be in this. And like, she is very desperate. I understand her reasons like for actually like end up doing it. She is absolutely desperate. She's not getting any new work, and $60,000, that sounds pretty incredible. But yeah, like she just like gets into a stranger's car and drives like 4 hours to, like, she has no idea where she's going. I'm just like, girl, like, are you really that desperate? So I find her fascinating as a character. I don't like her personally, but like I find her fascinating to follow, especially now that there are some other like cast members from the original franchise also taking part in this fan film. But yeah, like it was such a good setup. I'm really enjoying where the story is going. Yeah, and she's so underprepared as well. Like there's things about the script that she didn't even realize. Like, it's kind of funny just like how blissfully unaware she kind of is. I also love it as well when the original cast members are all like on a round table thing and they're talking about like how they died in the franchise. And again, I find that so fascinating. Like I would love 2, maybe 3 chapters just detailing what happens in every single Evil Elf film. Because apparently there's 6, one of them set in space, of course. And I just find it so funny. It just feels like a funny commentary on horror movies, and like especially the 80s and early 90s, where there was just such an overabundance of like really trashy sequels. So I really feel like that's kind of like a commentary on that, as well as like fame and people's fame from doing projects like that and where they are now and the desperation of trying to get your glory days back. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I find it really fun. I only have about like 200 pages left, and yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy my gingerbread oat milk latte, get immersed in Tinseltown again, and let's finish this book and see if we need to push this vlog back a little bit. If we're not crashing, it's absolutely fine if I don't crash, because I do still have the library challenge that I can just swap with. So I can upload the library challenge first and then upload this one either on Christmas Eve or after Christmas. It's not a problem. So I'm not trying to like rush anything with this vlog. Like with the snake videos, I do have to try and like plan them enough so that I can upload something else in its place if it goes on a little bit too long. Exactly like what happened with the Halloween version. That one definitely went a little bit too long and I had to swap some things around. But you know, it's what we have to do for Snake. Our Lord and Savior Snake across my bookshelves.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season right. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh.
This was such a frolicking, fun, fucked up, festive time. I have just finished it, and yeah, I feel like this book, it just has a lot of fun with it. Like in the last 100 pages, I don't think it takes itself too seriously, but it also has like quite a lot of character work, and I really do feel like Jennifer had such a great character arc. I loved Luna and Douglas, and I was really caring for these characters by the end. Really, really rooting for them to survive, and it's just like such a messed up situation that they found themselves in, and there is like a little bit of gore, there's definitely a lot of like campiness, and it's definitely reminiscent of those like 80s guilty pleasure horror movies, while also kind of referencing them and being very self-aware with it too. So you do get those kind of like Scream-like elements to it, where you have like a cast of characters who are very aware kind of what they are part of, while also, you know, turning a blind eye to a lot of the red flags of like what they've gotten themselves into. But no, the set pieces were amazing. Loved Tinseltown as a setting. Loved the little park areas. Loved that we could incorporate like some of the rides into some of the fears as well, so it could be like very scary as well as being like a little bit, you know, ridiculously funny. But I did really love a lot of the character work. So like Luna, for instance, you know, like just one like spoiler-free thing about her was that I loved the fact that she was really good at throwing things because, you know, she was raising a daughter and she didn't have a lot of money. And in order to get her like toys and stuff, she would be really good at carnival games at the, carnival and fairs. So that would be like one way of her getting toys for her child. And honestly, like that's just such a beautiful moment. So like the characters did feel quite real. Characters like Jennifer did have to come such a long way as well. Lots to learn there, but also like it is heartbreaking to see how women in their 60s are treated in Hollywood, in the devastation of your glory days being behind you while trying to like fight for your place in the world as well. So like there's so much about Jennifer that I sympathize with. Some parts of her I didn't like, but I kind of loved how she grew. I loved her dynamic with Luna and some of the other cast members who, you know, she hasn't seen yet. She's like quite ignorant, and I wasn't quite surprised by like some of the revelations by the end. I wasn't like surprised by the direction, but no, I had such a blast with it. I thought it was really fun, really good, perfect to read if you're in the mood for like a really campy, spooky Christmas horror. Just so much fun. So I'm going to give this one 4 stars, and definitely my favorite book of the vlog so far. Right, I do need to take off shelf number 22 since that's the shelf that I dashed to. So we're taking off shelf number 22, and the shelf that I was supposed to land on, I've already forgotten the number of it, so it's been taken off. I'm not going to put it back on. There's enough shelves still on there. But yeah, there is a very limited amount of shelves now that I can get to without crashing. And I can't remember them off the top of my head. But we are manifesting another book read in this vlog, because we've done 5, which means we've already beat episode 1. But we need to beat 9 from the Halloween episode. And I don't want to leave it at 5. I don't want to leave it at 5. I feel like we have another book in us, at least. So, having said that, let's shuffle 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spin it again, hopefully not for the last time. We just gotta manifest. Okay, let's go. I don't know if that's a bad thing yet. Hang on. Alakanamana tomato melakanamin. Alakanamana tomato melakanamin. Yeah, as you can see, 25 is all the way over here. And unfortunately, we have crashed by shelf number 23. We have crashed. I don't have any power-ups to save myself from this fate. I don't have any power-ups left. I can't undo this. Yeah, this is our little stack for episode 3 of Staying Across My Bookshelves Festive Edition. And you know what? I am kind of happy that we mostly did end up reading books that were perfect for the festive season. So at least that's a win. I genuinely thought going into this episode that I would end up landing on shelves with absolutely nothing that would fit. So at least nearly all of these fit. So firstly, we have the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Smells by Rachel Greenlaw. I gave this one 3 stars. In hindsight, definitely better than most of the books on this list. And then The Murder at Holly House by Denzil Meyrick, I did DNF, unfortunately. And then Nutcracked by Susan Adrian, I gave 3 stars. Powerless by Lauren Roberts, I read because I did get the naughty list bad power up. And so I read that one, I gave it 1 star. Terrible, absolutely terrible. And then finally, I read Script to Scream by James and Lydia Hicks, and I gave this one 4 stars. Definitely my favourite one from the vlog. So at least we are ending on a high. But hey, at least 4 out of 5 of these fit the winter festive theme. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with that progress. And yeah, we did 4 books in episode 1, 9 books in episode 2, and then 5 books in episode 3. So that's not terrible. That's not terrible. But I was hoping to do at least another one. Like, I still have pretty much a full day ahead of me. And tomorrow as well, and I was just going to swap my library challenge around and post that this week instead if I had to extend this one. But I don't have a power-up. I screwed myself over because literally there's a line going right down the centre of the bookshelves, so I just couldn't really get past anyway. And I couldn't predict as well when I did my dash to the shelf, I couldn't predict what number I would get on either side of the line, so yeah. If I had picked a shelf that was on the other side, we would still be in the game. But I had no idea. I had no clue. But that is the end of episode 3 of Staying Across My Bookshelves. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. Please do remember to give it a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, hype up the video as well if you can, and leave all your comments down below as well. Let me know if you read any of the books that I read in this video, or let me know if you would have picked something else off each of the shelves that I demonstrated in my gash cam. Let me know. I would actually be fascinated to find out if you would have picked something else for those shelves. A huge thank you to my channel members for supporting my channel, and if you'd like to join my channel membership, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.